Yeah, so hi guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry, and I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. This is like the earliest time I have ever gone live before. But if you are into spirituality, if you are, of course, my channel is all about the law of attraction. I don't want to go in too much about what the law of attraction is, because if you're watching this, most likely if this has popped up on you're looking at this right now, most likely you already know what the law of attraction is. Maybe I should say it, but I'm not, just because of the fact that this is kind of like a moment right now. At least I think I am in the moment right now. Okay. And I wanted to share this special time or moment with whoever would share it with me, whoever would join the live with me. Again, it's early in the morning. It's only just a little bit after 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And I'm going to say it like this. Okay, guys. Right now, today, Tuesday, March the 3rd, 2026, we are, I guess I should say tonight, whatever, we're going to be having, I'm starting to understand, to know the names of the different moons now, because I've been doing this stuff for a while now, repeatedly, like it's like a pattern, right? And so the March moon is always the worm moon, and of course there's other names that if you look up, like the in the Farmer's Almanac, things like that, they have other names, but I always go by the worm moon. Now, of course, that has to do with the fact that worms are, I guess, they're starting to rise, and you're going to be starting to see them like loosen up and move around, like in the soil, whatever. I didn't write down the complete definition, but but we're having the full worm moon, and not only that, we're having a total lunar eclipse. Okay, and guys, again, it's early in the morning. I want to thank everybody that's going to join me, because again, it's so early. You could be on your way to work. I don't know, but I just wanted to share this moment with whoever would come and join me. I'm not going to be on long, because my plan is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come back later. The picture that you're looking at right now, I hurried up and, got it together, but I have another video that I'm going to be making later on. That my channel's called Sunset Songs. I'm going to have a sunset song. I don't have a sunset song right now, because this was a last minute video, like morning idea, right? I'll call it like a morning ritual, right? Just for this one morning, this special morning. Now, guys, so I'm going to be coming back making that video. But for right now, I just wanted to share this space with whoever would share it with me. And I want to thank you guys so much. I see a Wayne Brunell. I see a G Young. I see a JB 305. Guys, I want to thank you so much. So guys, right now, I'm going to say it right like this, okay? I am into the law of attraction. I'm on my, a spiritual journey where, my channel, the Sunset Songs, is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction, where I am hoping to take you basically by the hand, or whatever way you want to come with me, follow the sound of my voice. We're going to listen to music together, all that, and we're going to go on the journey together. And there could be times that I might film, make my videos or go live or whatever in my car. It's all about the journey. But with that being said, something's just coming out and telling me right now that I want to, I've said in other videos that of course, I'm not like a guru or anything like that. This is my journey, so I'm learning and all that different stuff. Because I've been doing this for a while now, couple of years, I want to think, I really started getting like deep into this. And I think a lot of people started getting deeper into, maybe a spiritual journey, or whatever way you want to call it. Maybe you might consider yourself to be a little bit witchy. I'm not you are who you are, right? And I try to do things so everybody, if you join or whatever, I try to pick songs that, everybody would like, and when I say that, my channel's called Sunset Songs. I could pick like a R&B song. I could pick a rap song. I could pick an 80s song. I could pick a song from the 70s. A song that may have been and feel as comfortable as possible. I don't want to just go with one thing. I could pick country. And again, I talk about all different things when it comes to spirituality. I look at spirituality as it's like this big, huge book that you open, and it's just like, okay, what am I going to work with? Am I going to work with crystals? Am I going to work with tarot cards? There's so much to it. But with that being said, I do have to admit that I am not a guru. Again, I got really deep into this through what I think a lot of people probably got into, different things when COVID-19 came. And, we were all forced to go inside, be off to ourselves with our families, whatever. And even when we were inside with our families, you may have gotten a little bit frustrated with everybody. And then it's just like, okay, well, we're watching TV right now in the TV room, but now I'm getting frustrated with you guys, and I'm going to go into my room. I'm going to shut my door. I'm going to light my candles. I'm going to look at my crystals, work with my crystals. I'm going to work with my tarot cards. I know that there were probably those that probably even went off to the bathroom, just went into the bathroom and closed the door, because you know that when you go in the bathroom, that's the one place that you're going to be by yourself, right? I guess that's why they call it the throne. You're going to be in there alone. Nobody's going to bother you. And it wouldn't be that you're using the bathroom. It could just be that you're lying to everybody else, and you just went in the bathroom, shut the door, and you just want some time to yourself, where you're going to have, like, it's called the throne. So you're going to have like a crown on your head, and this is my time, right? Okay. So I just wanted to say that. But I was into the law of attraction and all that even before COVID-19, because I really got deep into it. I really got started into it when I started reading the book The Secret, and then with my mother's death. I've said that before. It was a dark period, and I had to and before even her death, through her illness, like it was just a hard time. There were good times because I was sharing my final time in sacred space with her. But it was very, very hard because I knew that time was coming, whether I liked it or not. I just didn't want to face it. Okay. But I've said all that. But basically, guys, I do have to admit that this is a journey. I'm reading books. I watch videos, all kinds of different things. And with that being said, I'm not like a guru. So with that being said, I'm not the type to where, I'm going to say it like this. Say you were, you may be going to work in a few hours or whatever, or you may even be listening to me in your car on your way to work. And I just want you to say, be very, very careful if that's the case. But what I want to say is, it's not I'm not a guru, and it's not like I want to steer anyone. It's just coming to me to say it right now. It's not like I'm trying to steer anyone in the wrong direction. Okay. I want you to, it's a journey, and we're all learning together, right? And we're celebrating the journey. We're listening to music and all that. But I'm not a guru. So with that being said, I know that we are having the full worm moon. It falls under the sign of Virgo. We're going to be having that. And we are also having a total lunar eclipse. I'm going to be coming back with so much more information about this later on. And this was stuff that I really looked deep into. I looked up the information and everything. But right now, this stuff that I'm saying is kind of like off of the top of my head. I woke up and I'm like, I just want to film for a little bit. It's not going to be long, but whoever's going to join me, I'm going to say some stuff, and we're going to start the celebration together, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. I looked up the information as to when, the time periods, everything, the time as to when the lunar eclipse was going to start, things like totality, all that different stuff. And because for that reason, I got up early this morning because, I saw where, if you wanted to see, it's all about where you are in the world. Okay. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not all big on the whole, standard time and all this different stuff. I got some learning to do, but at the same time, in my area, it's like 7:13 in the morning. Okay. And I got up and, got dressed, whatever. And I'm like, I don't live alone. So I'm like, I have to be respectful. There are people that are, getting ready to go to work, but, I had to be respectful, have to work around all that chaos. And this is said to be a bit of a time of chaos. We're coming out of the snake year. We're on that fire horse, whatever. But basically what I'm saying is, I don't know, like, all the times. I don't have it right in front of me. Like, I have that written down somewhere else for the video later on. Okay, and I am talking fast because I don't have long to be on here. But right now, and that's why I'm coming back later. But basically, guys, I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask everybody, guys, did you get up? Did you get up to try to see the lunar eclipse? Because I looked up some information, and from what I gathered, we're not going to be having another total lunar eclipse until December. I do believe it is December 31st. It would be New Year's Eve of, I believe, 2028. Okay. Or is it 2028? I do believe it's 2028. It's like a three year, almost three years from now, like time period. Okay. And there's that number, that magic number 3. Okay. Because I did see as well that something was going to be with this lunar eclipse. There was going to be something that was going to be going down at 3:33 in the morning. 3:33 a.m. there was something going on. Okay. And I've got my notes and all that. I got that for later on. I don't have it right in front of me, but I wasn't going to let that stop me from joining whoever would join me at this time, right? This sacred space. Okay. So there's this time of 3:33. And if you maybe you've read the book, The Secret, I think that's a pretty good place to start when it comes to the law of attraction and, all that. Okay. And one of the things that's mentioned in that book, The Secret, is the power of the number 3. Okay. And the number 3 is basically 3 is the number of creation. Okay. And guys, I'm not going to be able to be on much longer because I've got there's some things I have to take care of, that journey that, we have to do, in the morning, whatever. Okay. But the number 3 is just a prominent idea right now. Okay. It's March, which is the 3rd month. Okay. Then we have the 3rd day. I just told you about the 3:33. And then I've also reminded you that 3 is said to be the number of creation. Think about it. Okay. Things like, in The Wizard of Oz, was it that she had to click her heels 3 times, or she said, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home." It's been a while since I've seen the movie, and I should know it like the back of my hand, but I think you get what I'm saying. Just that number 3. Even if you've watched the movie Beetlejuice, and that's crazy, right? But even if you watch the movie Beetlejuice, and I want to quickly say also that obviously there was a Beetlejuice, the first one, and then there, 2, whatever. Then recently, we had the show Stranger Things, and I kind of feel like if you're watching this right now, you may have watched the series. I believe it was in the last day of the year, or maybe the first day of this year of 2026, or New Year's Eve, something like that. They had the final episode, right? And if you watch that series, that Winona Ryder was in that series, and then she also was in Beetlejuice. Okay, another person that showed up in that movie was or in that show was Freddie. And why can't I remember his name? Any other time I'd be able to remember his name. This was the guy, Robert Englund, I think. He played Freddy Krueger. He was the actor that, was Freddy Krueger. Okay, now he was in Freddy Krueger, all that. And then they brought him back in Stranger Things as Victor Creel. Okay. I'm going all off or whatever, but I'm just making these connections, right? Okay. But basically I was talking about that number 3. Okay. This number 3 is showing up everywhere, right? For this energy of today. And I just want you to think about that. Like, that's powerful. The number of creation. Okay. But I also was saying about that I don't want to steer anybody in the wrong direction, because this is my personal journey, and you get what I'm saying. Okay. But basically I wanted to ask you guys, did anybody else get up anytime this morning to be able to watch the total lunar eclipse. Because also, I, looked up information. I'm always about safety, make sure that when you're, working with candles, your incense. I know somebody that's really into the Dan Patrick show. He's, sports. Okay. And recently, there was a fire. And I think it started from incense and candles. Okay. So I'm just saying, they're professional, all that. But even with them, there was a little bit of, there was a little bit of a mishap. So I'm all about safety. Make sure that you're being safe with your candles, all that different stuff. Make sure that when you're listening to me, if you're listening to me right now, be safe, all that. But, I just want to ask you, did you get up at any time, at a certain time? Did you have your clock set? If you could leave it in the comments, did you have, your clock or anything set so you would know to get up, or did your body just wake up? It's something about this time and this energy. There's those that don't believe in it, but there's a lot of intent. If I could describe when I make my video live later on, I'll describe what my head's been feeling out, just feeling kind of off balance, off kilter. You get what I'm saying. This is said to be a reset. And to reset, you might feel a little bit off balance for a while, right? Okay. But did anybody, have your alarm clock set? Did your body just naturally wake you up? I hope that you will choose to leave it here in the comments. But guys, I just wanted to share this space with you. And, again, I've talked about the journey, all that. I came up with this picture, and this is the other thing. It's coming to me right now because I'm not going to be on much longer. I have seen in lots of different places that if you consider yourself like a little bit witchy, you're into kind of witchy things. And I'm not saying when I say that you don't believe in God, that's your business, whatever. That's your business. Okay. And I try to, make everyone feel welcome and fit in. With that being said, if you are into kind of like witchy things, you may feel like you're the type to where maybe you don't exactly fit in. And guys, unfortunately, this is where I'm going to have to cut right now. No, I'm sorry. I see that I'm not going to have to cut right yet. I'm going to stay on for a couple of minutes longer. Okay. Cause I thought something was, anyhow, that's another story. I got to hurry up and finish this. Cause I didn't get on for just any reason. Okay. If you're watching this, you may consider yourself to be a little bit witchy. You are also listening to the voice of someone who goes by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. Guys, I've said it in lots of videos before that. And right now I'm seeing the name Monroe 555. That number 555, that's all about changes. Okay. I see, and so that's awesome. We're calling in positive change right now. I also see the name Alice. Now that makes me think of Alice in Wonderland. Okay. And guys, this is just the things that I'm thinking of. And I just want to say good morning to everybody. And thank you guys so much for joining me right now. Again, if you're watching this video, you are listening to the voice of someone who goes by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. I've said it before. When I started making videos, I had already come up with the name of my channel, Sunset Songs. Knew what it was going to be about, my spiritual journey, all that. I was making videos for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, Shadow Girl, my name, the name Shadow Girl came to me. I'm like, okay, it came to me, and I just, off the top of my head, I'm like, okay, this is Shadow Girl. For the longest time, I kept it as Shadow Girl, and then I just went ahead and I'm like, I wanted to be recognized some way, so I'm going to add my first name to it. So at first it was Shadow Girl, and then after a while, I'm like, forget it. Nobody knows what I look like, whatever, but I'm going to put my name on there. Okay. So this is Shadow Girl Sherry. Okay. It wasn't long after that. I came up with the name, my name, whatever. I'm making videos and all that. And then in the algorithm, just in the same way that my videos, this has come up on your for you page. It's popped up in your algorithm for a reason, because again, I've said it before, I don't advertise anything about my channel, right? I don't tell people that I know anything about my channel. If they find me, they find me and found me for a reason. It's because the algorithm pick them. So I feel like the relationships, the things that I'm doing right now, it's, the people, you guys are very, very special. This moment was meant to be, right? And I hope with that being said, I hope that you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all that different things here on TikTok, Shadow Girl Sherry's Shadow Closet, over on YouTube, trying to grow over there. I want to figure out how to sync everything together. So when I go live here on TikTok, I'm also going live on YouTube, but you're looking for Shadow Girl Sherry's Shadow Closet. And obviously my channel is called Sunset Songs. When you click on, you're looking for the one, obviously, where I'm going to announce myself as this is Shadow Girl Sherry in the video, okay? Or in my videos. But with all that being said, you are here for a reason. This is special, okay? And I want to ask you, you may feel like you may be the type, because you're listening to the voice, you're of a woman, okay, that goes by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. And after a while, I had been calling myself Shadow Girl Sherry, and then the algorithm started sending me information about shadow work, okay? So with that being said, I'm making the suggestion, and even when you're working with me, really, you're listening to me, I'm doing a lot of shadow work. So I feel like you're doing it anyway, but this might be a call to think about doing shadow work, okay? So I'm going to say this quickly, because here in just a little bit, I'm going to have to get off. It's just the way it is, right? For right now. And then later on, hopefully you'll be able to come back and join me when I come back with my notes and I go live and I have a song and all that. But guys, right now, you just in life, I just want to ask you, do you feel like you're the type that where you just don't fit in? Like you don't fit in everywhere you go. You may have not fit in perfectly, like this perfect puzzle piece when you were in school. You may have felt that way. Maybe, say you went to church. That's supposed to be like a place where everybody's supposed to feel comfortable. But when I've gone to church, especially, I grew up where my family, I was raised in a Christian home. Okay. And I believe in God. Okay. But I was one of those people, I didn't just fit in like the perfect puzzle piece, even when I was a child at church. And that's supposed to be a place where you're supposed to feel comfortable, but it wasn't that way for me. Like that's a whole other story, but I'm just breaking it down for you. Basically, I want to ask everybody, are you the type to where you feel like you just don't fit in? Okay. Because that's kind of the way I feel. And I feel like for that reason, it has pushed me to out into the universe. It made me want to reach out to other people that are like me. And that's basically why I came up with my channel. Okay. Right now, if you were, or even if, I don't know where you're at, where you're located in the world, whatever. Okay. And the time zones and all that. But are you, or, when the time comes for this to be going down where you are, do you feel that you're going to be all by yourself, or are you going to be like a part of a group of people? I feel like if you're into this, if you're watching the Lunar, there's lots of people that are into it, but I think that there's going to be certain people where they're going to take it more seriously, and you're going to be maybe all alone by yourself, trying to find it. Like I was this morning. I got up and I'm looking all around for it and whatever, and I didn't see it, and I'm bummed out really, because I looked up information about it. You didn't even have to have like, special glasses, or that's the solar eclipse, right? This is a lunar eclipse. So I wanted to find it. And again, this isn't going to be going down again until there's that magical number of 2028. Okay. And obviously, man, that's going to be very, very special. I'm going to be very, very special. I'm going to have to put that on, I'm going to mark that, right? That's special. That's quite the celebration there. So this is very, very special, this moment. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for sharing this moment with me. I hope that you're going to come back and share it with me later when I go live, because I have so much information about this particular song, the synchronicities that went along with it. Wow, it was perfectly synchronized alignment, everything. And I feel like if you watch the video, if you're here now, you might feel like you're out of balance, but I'm telling you, I feel like there is an alignment here. Like there's synchronicities and all that, because I'm sharing this space and my synchronicities, I'm going to be telling you about them. So, and you're in this space with me and I'm lending it. I'm sharing the synchronicities with you. I'm going to be talking about the angel numbers, just stuff that came to me, things that have happened, and I'm sharing it with you, right? So this is special. But with all that being said, I just want to ask you, again, I've said the thing about maybe you feel like you don't fit in. Okay. Maybe maybe you should be doing some shadow work. There's a lot of magic in that. Okay. But do you feel like you don't fit in? That's not a bad thing, because you fit in here. The algorithm picked you, and I'm wondering right now, I can't see it right now, just how many people have joined this live. And people started joining just a little bit after I started going live. And this was last minute. It wasn't announced or anything, but I'm going to be so excited to see when I end the live, how many people joined. Okay. I'm pretty excited about that. So at the same time, even if you feel like you're a loner right now, you're not alone. Okay. Because there's so many people. I feel like this live, I can just feel it, that I've had a good amount of, good number, like amount of people that have joined. And this was last minute. Okay. But with that being said, wherever you are, if you got up early this morning, you were trying to find it. If you're going to be looking for it like later on, depending on where you are or whatever, are you going to be among a big group of people, or is it going to be just like you all by yourself, like alone, and you're going to be alone with like a candle? You might decide to pull your tarot cards out and do like a little personal reading. You might have your incense going, your candle going. You might, have an intention set where you're going to burn like a bay leaf but are you going to be doing that all alone? Or are you going to be with a big group? Or are you just going to be like with the people you live with? Or are you going to be with like 3 or 4 or 5 people? Or hey, that magical number of 3, are you going to be just with a group of 3 people? I just kind of feel like when it comes to stuff like this, if you are into certain things like the moon phases and all that stuff is becoming more and more popular now. And I don't want to call it like, what's the big thing that like a trend? I don't want to say that, because I have always been into things that are considered to be a little bit witchy, like the movies, like The Craft, things like that. I've always been drawn to that. Okay. So I don't want to call it a trend. It wasn't just a trendy thing with me. I've been into this stuff for as long as I can. It's been a long time. It's just now that internet access, and it's just become, and I really do believe that in COVID-19 at that period, people really started to get into this stuff, but that wasn't me. I was into it with the illness of my mom, the death of my mother, but even before that, I was always curious. I had a curiosity about it. I mean, way before that, it's always been there. Okay. But something is just, I just wanted to say that I want to ask everybody, do you kind of feel like when it comes to like, it's becoming more and more popular now? I'm noticing it. I don't want to call it a trend. I don't feel it's a trend. I don't want to just say, oh, it's new age and that's it, or anything like that. Like, this stuff is really, all this has really been here for me during these like really, really dark periods. Okay. Maybe I was a little bit secretive about it, but I'm just, I found myself where there were different periods in my life where I felt more alone than other times, right? I've always felt like I was a bit of a loner, or if I wasn't alone, there was just like a couple of people that I really like had a lot in common with. And it's just like, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to have like these really, deep conversations and all that. Like everything's not surfacey. Like we're beyond, we're deeper than just the top layer. Like these people, like, and it's not just, okay, somebody, whatever. Like, I think you get what I'm saying if you're here. And, basically I just want to ask you, you may feel like you felt like you've you feel like a loner, maybe. This is just what's coming to me. You feel like you've been alone. I don't want you to feel like that. I hope that you don't feel like that anytime that you join my lives, when you hear my voice. This is the year of the fire horse. I want to be the one that, where maybe if you were going through the course of your day and somebody said something that made you feel like terrible, right? You could, like, come on TikTok or whatever and see that I'm on, Shadow Girl Sherry's on. You're going to join the live, and then I'm going to say something that's going to make you jump back on that horse. Okay. That's how I want to make you feel. I want you to make you feel comfortable. That's my idea. I want to light the fire back in you if it goes out. And I often say that I love candles, and there's just been different periods in my life where that candle was the thing. It was the warmth that was there for me. There would be those that I know in my everyday life. If I, said different things about my channel, that's why I don't mention it to everyone, that I know. They would look at it and think that I was like trying to conjure some kind of evil or something like that. And that's definitely not my idea. It's just not. But you can't tell everybody everything, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with a secret or two, right? But guys, I kind of feel like when it comes to, there are certain holidays where, they're celebrated. Holidays are celebrated. And it may be the fact that if you're not married, or you don't have children, or you don't have a bunch of people to hang out with, there's different holidays that can make you feel bad. It could make you feel like, okay, I'm supposed to be in a certain place in my life. Like, this should have already taken place by now. Okay. Or why don't I fit in? Why don't I have this big, huge family? If you're not married, you might feel like, just like, especially on certain holidays and special days, like, why am I not married? Why hasn't this happened for me? Why, maybe you are married, and you and your partner have been trying to have a child and start a family. And for whatever reason, you feel like you found your soulmate, this perfect partner. You might call it a twin flame, whatever. But then you're in this relationship. It's perfect, whatever. You've been together. You love them, all this different stuff. You got this candle flame, between you. Everything's hot, coals, everything. But then it's just like, okay, well, why haven't we been, in the spiritual community, some people, you might call it a blessing. Why haven't I been blessed? Why haven't we been blessed with a child, a baby? Or you might not want to, go with the word blessed, and you might say bliss instead. Okay. There's a whole story behind that. Why don't we have the bliss of, like, having a child? Okay. We love each other. Why haven't we been given that gift? Why don't we have that? Okay. It just feels like something is out of place. Like, and for me, I feel like if you're watching this or you tune into my videos or whatever, it may be just that you might feel like at certain points, there's just something missing. And especially during, like, holidays, where it's said to be a time where so many different people, everybody's supposed to be, joined together with a big, huge family, or, you're supposed to have children, like Christmas Day. Okay. Well, you're supposed to have gifts, a bunch of gifts under the Christmas tree. And there's supposed to be, the pitter patter of little feet, like, running around and, being mischievous, shaking boxes, trying to figure out, well, what's in the box before Christmas Day. Like, how we did when we were children, I'm just trying to fit this all together and make it make sense. Christmas and all that is supposed to be a time where it's supposed to be very, very magical and all that. But I've been around people where it can bring up such a lot of pain. It's supposed to be happy, but it's not happy for everyone. Okay. It could be a source of pain, really. It can remind you of your loved ones that you have lost. I've talked a lot about my mom, and, I've definitely adjusted, but when holidays like that come around, I feel it more. I have a lot of family members where I feel like a lot of my family members, instead of being alive, they're in the graveyard. Okay. And I don't want to bring anybody down right now. I definitely don't want to do that. I want to switch gears, whatever. But there's certain like holidays where it just magnifies, it can magnify loneliness, or just the fact like who's not here, who in your family, your friends, whatever, who's not here because, they've passed away. Who haven't you met? Maybe you haven't met someone to make a family. It can make you feel a certain type of way. But with that being said, and I'm not saying Christmas and all that stuff is great, but those holidays that like everybody, it seems like everybody celebrates, it can have a way of making you feel a certain way if you don't feel like you fit in and you don't have everything, all the puzzle pieces together, right? That's the way I feel. I'm just feeling called to say this right now. But when you get into spirituality, I kind of feel like, and again, I'm not saying I don't believe in God, whatever. Okay. But I feel like when I celebrate and do things with like the full moon and the different phases of the moon and all that, there would be those that would be like, oh, you're conjuring evil, or they wouldn't understand. The people that I know in everyday life. Okay. It's not to say I don't love them, family, everything. I love my family, right? Okay. But I can't tell everybody about it because they would take it the wrong way. And when I think about like the moon phases, this eclipse and all this, I feel like these are things when it comes to you always know it's going to come back around. Like a full moon, it happens every month. Okay. A new moon, it happens every month. Like you don't have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Like for just one day of the year. Okay. The moon is there for you every night. It's always in a different phase. The new moon, okay, the new moon is dark. It's also called the dark moon. But even though you can't see it, it's just that you can't see it. But you get what I'm saying. Like you can always work with the energies of the moon. The sun, that's another thing. The sun is always out. It may not be out to where it's bright and all that, but life on Earth, it wouldn't exist if we didn't have the sun. Like we have to have it. We have to have it. Life. Okay. Children, I think, authors. One of my favorites is B.C. Andrews. Okay, a lot in one of her books. The movie is called Flowers in the Attic. Okay, you think about flowers; they grow with the sun, right? Okay, they have to get the proper amount of sunlight, water, all those different things. Okay, but in that book, in the movie, both the book and the movie, and there's I believe it was an 80s version of the movie. And then later on, Lifetime came up, started featuring her movies or whatever, brought them to life, whatever. And Flowers in the Attic was remade. Okay. But in both versions, the kids they're left in an attic. Okay. And the reason why it's called Flowers in the Attic is because they're in an attic. And at one point they start making these paper flowers. Okay. And I think that was just they talked about the color yellow, and I was the color of light and just happiness. When you think about yellow, you're thinking about happiness. That reminds me of spring. Okay. And it's just the color of the sun. Okay. Sun, to me, it makes me happy. Right. But it was just mentioned in there, in that movie, in the book, that, children, we know this anyway, you learned it, what's the title of that book? Everything that I ever needed to know or whatever, or something like that. I learned in kindergarten. There's a book that's just coming to me. But guys, basically what I'm saying is, and now I see a Sabrina, and that makes me think of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. Okay. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining me. Everybody that's joining me in this last minute, thank you so much. This is so special to me. But basically, guys, I'm going all off, saying all this different stuff. And it's just basically, I just wanted to share this space with whoever would come and join with me, because I've said it already that it feels like a lot of, and guys, now I'm going to have to officially shut down because there's somewhere that I got to get going. But guys, so I'm going to have to shut this down real quick. But I'm going to be coming back, joining, with this live again. Just come back and join me. I hope that you'll be able to join me later on, but I'm going to have to shut this one down. And guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. I'm going to have to sign out. Thank you. Enjoy this lunar eclipse. And thank you so much and take care. Thank you so much, guys. I love you guys, and happy lunar eclipse. Come back and join me later on. I can't tell you exactly what time, but I'm always going to be leaving clips here on TikTok and on YouTube. You're going to see my videos in, guys, I'm going to say it right now, in totality. Okay. The total totality. Okay. It goes along with this perfectly. Okay. This is going to be Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. Thank you guys so much, and take care. Just got to figure out again how to sign out. Okay. You're going to hear me mumbling because I got to figure out how to shut down. Oh gosh, that was not supposed to happen. Okay, I'm shutting down right now. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. How do I shut down, guys? All right. Oh, I gotta stop. Okay, this is last minute, and I've got to figure out how to do